just a quick video. I've noticed here lately, especially with this 9/23/2017, I'm going to say loosely prophecy. Well, prophecy, I don't know it's from who. But anyway, you see a lot of numbers. Now they're looking at the feasts. And in the previous video I showed you on the feasts. God's not real fond of those. But they're just adding numbers to everything, and then they're telling you this number means this and this number means that. You cannot have free will and fate. The two don't work together. So you either have free will or you have fate. Same goes with Christianity. You can't have that and numerologies. Now I don't know these websites, but right here, this guy here, he goes across it and he says, it's horrible when I see preachers going down an occult numerology highway. And he goes through and names a few, and some of them are very popular people. One or two I actually know. But as you want to find out, as you look and see, and there again, you've got to go back and you've got to know what is the difference in Judaism and the Hebrew religion. There is a difference. Judaism was a fairly new religion, and they do that. I mean, Aleister Crowley even named one of his books the Gematria. So, you know, the Kabbalah describes the basics of numerology. This is an occult thing. It's not a Christian thing. You know, you go through and they're trying to put numbers on everything. And what's really blew my mind, and sometimes it's even people that I've got to really say I'm shocked by. And I looked down through here earlier, and this one is to tell them the truth. There may be others, but I don't see. I haven't watched every video. I'm not going to waste my time watching videos that are completely wrong. Here, this doesn't surprise me. Dr. Jeremiah. You see, this dude here, whoever he is, he's in a suit here. Up here, he's dressed in a Jewish garb. Now, that's also mentioned in the Bible, and that's also not a good thing. I was even surprised to see Trey do this. That probably sort of really surprised me. Israel is behind most of the people that you see. They rise up and they rise fast. They stay high. They stay tall. That is not a good thing, folks. You can believe it or you cannot. That's just not a good thing. I mean, you basically boil it down to numerology and the occult. You hear a lot of people go over all these numbers, these events, this, that, and the other. I mean, it's kind of sad, but now this is actually accurate. You go through here, the number 3, this is the first sacred number with the infinite repeating pattern in numerology. It is a perfect number representing the pagan trinity. Notice it doesn't say Christian. It is geometrically represented by the triangle. What is the seal of Solomon? It's a triangle up and a triangle down. As is above, so is below. The pyramid and spirituality of the third eye. Again, the third eye is a pineal gland. And it allegedly, if you can open it up, you can see into the next dimension, maybe 2 or 3 dimensions, I don't know. Sacred numbers are intensified when grouped. 33 is a very powerful number to occultists. There are 33 degrees in Freemasonry, which symbolizes Kundalini, I think it's called, or serpent force, which is directed up from the 33 sections of the vertebra to achieve illumination. The number 666 is achieved when 3 groups of 3 are added together. Number 5 represents the female energy, largely important because there are 5 days in the woman's fertility cycle. 5 is represented by geometrically as the pentagram, Isis, and a divine portion. 5 is also the planet, I believe it's Saturn, which is kind of like a long version of Satan. Number 6 represents the male energy, the soul of a man, and the mechanism of God. 6 is represented geometrically as the hexagram, and we've all seen those. Number 7. 7 is a sacred number of the number of perfected man. No such thing, but it sounds appealing. The biblical number of the mark of Cain. Multiplications of 7, perfect. 3 times 7 equals 21, blackjack, or the devil. Number 9, kind of freaks me out on the name of my website. Anyway, number 9 is sacred in the cube of 3. 999 is 666 inverted. Number 11. Now, think back. You got 9 and you got 11. Think of those two numbers together. Big day in history. 11 is the master number. 10 is the perfect number, God. And 11 represents God exceeded Antichrist. 11 should not be broken down. It is a master vibration. However, when broken down, 1 plus 1 equals 2. It represents the 2 of duality. 11 can represent sin, transgression, peril. The number of 11 is the essence of all that is sinful, harmful, and imperfect. I'll also add to that 11 is your last hour for redemption. I forget where I read that, but anyway. Number 13. Number 13 is a sacred number. In sacred geometry, 13 circles were used to create the ancient shape, the flower of life. Now, we've all seen that on Jewish sites, and we've all seen it on Christian sites lately. 13 represents death and rebirth. 13 can also represent rebellion against God's authority. 13 is a very important number to the brotherhood and was not intended to be used by the profane, hence the superstitions around 13 we are taught in culture. It's our number. It's not for you, Goyim. Goyim is a Gentile. Goyim is actually anything that's not a Jew. That's the terminology. It's not a slant. It's not meant to be a smack in the face, but the way the Jewish people say it is you have Jewish and you have Goyims. Goy is short for Goyims. Number 22 is one of the most powerful of all numbers. It is often called the master builder. The 22 can turn the most ambitious of dreams into reality. It is potentially the most successful of all numbers. It has many inspirational insights of the 11 combined with the practicality, methodological nature of the number 4, its sum. JFK was assassinated on 11/22. It talks about you can turn the most powerful of all numbers, that you can turn most ambitions into reality. I will ask that you seek out some of the preachers such as Joel Osteen and other prosperity preachers. That sounds a whole lot like what they're teaching. Number 33, a magical number. It's the perfect number multiplied by the master number 11. This number has much significance in religions of the world, as well as historical organizations such as Freemasons. Secret societies such as Skull and Bones also worship the number 33. You see a bonesman. Number 33 or 39 is perfect 3 multiplied by the sacred 13. 39 is an anagram for 93. The literal number of magic itself by Crowley. That'd be Aleister Crowley. If you're not familiar with him, I suggest you look him up. The United Nations, located in New York, has 39 floors. Number 77, the sacred number. Sacred number 7 multiplied by the master 11, the number of the biblical revenge of Lamech, and the children of Lamech are the alleged builders of the Temple of Atlantis, and Lamech lived 777 years. In the United States, Washington, D.C., and much of the East Coast is located on the 77th meridian, known as the American meridian. Multiples of numbers amplified the strength of the ritual and desire: 11, 22, 33, 44, 55, 66, 77, 88, 99, etc. Numbers add, occultists add numbers individually except for 11. 11 always stays 11. Every number of the alphabet represents a corresponding number. You'll find that a lot in Judaism. The two charts for calculating the English language are found in the following. So, if you take anything from this, all these numbers that I've read, these are not found in Christianity. Not a good thing anyway. It is simply numerology and the occult. Here's yet another website. And on this particular website, it talks about, there are mentions, like the Bible talks about 3 constellations: Orion, the Bear, Ursa Major, and the Crooked Serpent, most likely Draco in Job. Then in Amos, it mentions the Pleiades, which are 7 stars. Mazzaroth. Yeah. So I mean, it's not this. I'm not saying that the stars, all this, are not good things. They are, because the Bible says it's given to us for signs and seasons. For instance, we plant the garden. We plant according to the moon phase and the signs. Let's do the same thing setting fence posts or rock above the ground. But the thing is, they were given to us for signs and seasons to use. It says we should use the stars to keep track of time and place, to remind us of God's faithful covenant keeping nature. That doesn't mean we use them for predictions. And I also realize that you got like 7 bowls, 7 seals. That's just telling you the number of events. It could have been letters, but for whatever reason, he chose numbers. And on this website, we see, here's numerology. Why is it so appealing, and does it really work? Of course, they come up to the same thing, that, it doesn't work. And there's so many calendar models. Who are you going to go by? They go by whoever happens to fit whatever agenda they're placing. And if you look it up in the Bible, which I'm not a Jehovah's Witness, I think this is Jehovah's Witness site. I'm not saying that there's not things to do seasons and to measure time, etc. But when you look up, if you ever wonder what to look up in the Bible, because you're not going to find numerology in the Bible. It wasn't called numerology back then. It was called divination. So, you go to look it up, look up divination, and I think you're going to really be surprised. The most surprised that I think I am is just how many people are supposed to be promoting this. It just blows my mind, and they're doing it under the Christian heading, and it's not something that's Christian. This next part, we're just going to go through and do a few things, just click. Just to give you an idea, this is Enochian magic. The lost art of Enochian magic. Enochian magic, I don't know what they're going to tell you now, but you will find that, if you'll notice the symbol, that is of King Solomon. Enochian magic was practiced by him. One thing that you're going to freak out on is right here. Now there was two eunuchs. There was the bad eunuch and there was the good eunuch. And that's what basically it boils it down to. And then this dude here comes along, and that is Aleister Crowley. Some say Barbara Bush's dad. So anyway, he perfected it. And he called up a dude named Lom. And that would be something interesting. Most people don't know about that. So let's just look up Lom. You'll notice that there's a strange face. Looks a whole lot like what we call aliens. And what's really funny is, here's Lom research. What does it have? A pyramid. So, you know, you take it from there as to, that kind of gives you an idea on that point. Finally, before we wrap this up, I think we've all seen this picture at several places before. And we've definitely seen our share of that image. It's, like I say, that's not Hebrew, not the original Hebrew. You see this practiced a whole lot. Matter of fact, when you see these actors, actresses, singers, and they wear a little red string around their wrist, that shows that they're practicing Kabbalah. And I had a friend the other day tell somebody that he needed to read on this, that he needed to research this. He was feeling bad. And, you know, he's going, oh man, you need to really search, it was called the Sephra. I may be pronouncing that wrong. But, you know, you see this on a lot of things. And again, this was brought about by the bad eunuch, and it was feathered by King Solomon, and that's one reason he fell out of God's favor. Actually, that is the reason he fell out of God's favor. This is a cult. I don't care if it's here before. It is a cult. Unless they worship Christ, it is a cult. If they don't accept Christ, they end up going to a very bad place. Not really worship Christ, they follow Christ. They got to worship God. They have a God. Trust me, they have a God. It's the wrong one. And I'm sure they probably think that. That, by the way, is Jewish. So when your children are being taught bad things and wrong, this is where it's coming from. So anyway, when you start hearing all this mysticism about numbers and numerology, and yeah, there's signs in the heaven, but these are not signs saying that that's it, it's done, we're over. So wake up and stop believing it. And if you want to believe it, pick religion. Christianity is not open to that. That's just plain. Remember the mark of the beast in the eye of the hand? Well, isn't that funny? So anyway, that's it. I hope you got something out of it and learned something out of it. Peace.